Creator View has been relegated to a side project. In this video, we're going to talk about how I came to that decision, why I came to that decision, how Creator View can actually benefit from this. Oh, and I also dropped the price to $10 a month and got some sales, so we'll talk about that too. It's been a few weeks since the last update, so real quick, where we left off, I lost my co-founder to Apple, lost my motivation, and I've been reassessing things over the past few weeks. Like, what direction does Creator View go? What direction do I go in with my career? Just really been like sitting with that and weighing my options. Even took like a vision quest from Silicon Valley up into the mountains. Nice peaceful 3-day getaway, nice retreat. Got to drive my car on some nice twisty roads. That was always fun. Read the book Build by Tony Fadell. That was a good book that gave me a lot of interesting insights, things to think about my situation. Real quick, that book is by Tony Fadell. He's, was leading the team for the iPod, the iPhone. He built the Nest thermostat. Like the subtitle of the book is An Unorthodox Guide to Make Things Worth Making. And it's all about his whole career in startups, building monumental products. Again, if you haven't heard of the book, I recommend reading it, especially if you like to build apps or build things. It was really good. And again, gave me a lot to think about while I was weighing all my options. So if Creator View is now a side project, what's the main project? Like what took its place? Well, I'm going to refocus on my content, my YouTube channel, and my course business. We'll talk a little bit more about how I came to that decision, but first let's talk about why the shift, right? I've been focused on Creator View full time for the past 6 to 8 months. Why the sudden shift? Well, basically the market crashed. And that changed a lot of things for me. Back 6 to 8 months ago when I did decide to go full time on Creator View, I had a plan A and a plan B. Now plan A was at some point, again, this is back in like October of 2021, at some point, I had planned on just selling off some assets to fund Creator View. And I was like, okay, somewhere in 6 to 12 months, I'll have to sell some stuff to fund it. The plan was to sell off about 200 grand worth to fund about 1 to 2 years of full-time Creator View. And again, the plan was hopefully in that 1 to 2 years, I can get Creator View up off the ground, starting to earn revenue. And by then, it'll be earning enough revenue to, start replacing my income, right? That was the plan. Well, here we are again in that 6 to 12 month window back from October. And as I showed you, the market has crashed since then. I'm down over 7 figures. It hurts. So that pretty much put a damper on plan A. Now, I'm not naive. For those that don't know, my degrees are in finance and economics. Like, that's also my hobby. Like, you all are watching software developer content. I watch finance and economics content, podcasts nonstop. Like, that's where like my interests lie. So I know stocks don't always go up, right? The market's been overheated for years. People have been calling for this crash for years. Like, this crash was not a surprise. It's just always hard to time exactly when it's going to happen. And the timing sucked for Creator View, right? Because again, it was right when I had planned on selling off some assets to fund the development. And yeah, we're not selling at these low prices. And that's where plan B comes in. Now, what's plan B? Well, that's go back to work, right? Earn an income, nothing wrong with that. And that was always the backup plan if the whole stock thing didn't work out. But what does going back to work mean for me? Because that could be a lot of various things. I thought about, do I take on contracting part-time, like maybe do 20 hours a week contracting, 20 hours a week Creator View? Do I focus on the YouTube business and the courses? Do I get a full-time job, right? They all have their pros and cons. And like I said, that's what I have spent the past few weeks just going over all the scenarios and how I wanted to kind of move my career forward. And as I mentioned earlier, I did land on focusing on the YouTube channel, building this up, and focusing on the course business. Because, I spent 5 years building up this channel, this audience, this brand, the following, whatever you want to call it. And the truth is, in this day and age, like 2022, having a following and audience is very, very valuable. And I felt like the best use of my time for my life future was to, build on that and just not let that die. And it also has the most upside financially, right? When it comes to contracting, you get paid hourly. There's only so many hours in the day. So even if you have an insane hourly rate, you're capped by the number of hours in the day. Same thing with a full-time job. Well, I'm capped by my salary. When it comes to this YouTube and this course business, this is a global audience. Like, it can scale to like some crazy numbers. And another reason I landed on the course business was because I'm going to add a new twist to it, which again, reinvigorated my interest in it. And that is launching a subscription service. Now, subscription service for my courses was kind of always the long-term plan, but when you only have one course, a subscription service doesn't make sense. But now that I have 4 courses, more on the way, a subscription service starts to make more sense. And what excites me is that it opens up the flexibility on what kind of courses I can create. If you're familiar with my courses, it's like Dub Dub Grub, the latest one, was 85 videos and we built one app. That's a very heavy lift. That was a lot of work to do, and it relies on a bunch of one-time purchases. Now, if I open it up to subscriptions, I can do smaller, more focused courses, like maybe a course all about just widgets or a course all about Swift charts, rather than trying to package it in to one app, because I had to make it big enough that I could charge enough for it to make it worthwhile. But with a subscription model, I can do smaller, more focused courses and really have a much wider variety of content in my library. And it'll be something like $20 a month, so that offers a much lower entry point into my courses, because I'll admit my courses are on the more expensive side when it comes to comparing it to something like Udemy, which is like $10 courses. Now, don't get me wrong, I stand by my content. I believe it's worth every penny and then some. But again, a lot of people are used to paying just $10 for a course, so they are more expensive, when you compare it to that. But this is a nice, cheaper entry point to get all access to all the courses. And I'll talk more about that in the coming weeks. But that's what has me excited and reinvigorated on this course business, is building up that library in the subscription service. Another reason why YouTube and the course business made more sense is that's going to benefit Creator View. Now, contracting, sure, maybe some of the stuff I learned in contracting could bleed over into Creator View. That's unlikely. Same thing with a full-time job, maybe a little bit, but when it comes to courses, there's a lot of, here's a startup buzzword for you, right? A lot of synergy there, right? What I work on Creator View can feed into my courses, and what I work on my courses can feed into Creator View. Perfect example here is Swift charts, right? I'm super excited about this API from WWDC. So when this actually comes out, I'm gonna spend weeks basically revamping all of Creator View's charts into this new API, and I'll be building new charts, and I'll have a lot of experience with this API when I'm done revamping Creator View. And all those learnings and experience can help me build a great course all about the charts. So that's Creator View helping the courses. Now, the next course I'm going to create is all about widgets, with the iOS 16 home lock screen complications and the live actions and all the different widgets you can create. So that's my next course. Now, all that research and learning and building that course, when it comes time to build more widgets for Creator View, well, I'm going to be very knowledgeable because I built that course. So again, that's courses helping Creator View. There's a lot of synergy between the two, which again is why the YouTube business and courses made so much more sense. And then the last reason it's going to benefit is now that I'm focused on the YouTube business, I'm actually using Creator View. I know that sounds weird because I always said I am the prototypical user, but again, the past 6 to 8 months, I haven't been building my YouTube business. I've only been focused on Creator View. So I'm not legitimately using Creator View, right? I'm putting in dummy data, or I'm oh, this is how I would use it if I was trying to build this up. But now over the past 2 weeks, it's been really eye-opening because I've been entering my income. I've been entering my schedule. I've been using Creator View as a legit user. And like I said, it's been eye-opening because I'm seeing all the small annoyances in the user experience, or I'm wishing a certain feature worked a different way. Or another enlightening thing is I use my iPhone 80% of the time, right? And if you've been following along, Creator View for the iPhone was an afterthought. That was never the plan. It was always supposed to be a desktop and iPad app. But again, now that I'm legitimately using it, I'm the iPhone's the thing. So yeah, I think Creator View is going to end up being a better product because I am legitimately building my YouTube business and I'm legitimately using it rather than, like I said, test dummy data. And yeah, that means development on Creator View is gonna slow down now that it's a side project, but I don't think that's a bad thing because the core is there, right? The core product, the core offering feature set is there. It's on the iPhone, the iPad, the Mac. Yeah, could the features be better? Could I do some bug fixes? Could I add some features? Absolutely, it can be improved. But again, the core is there. So slowing down development, again, not the end of the world at this point in time. Now, if I'm being completely honest and transparent, I'm not shifting my focus to the course business just to fund Creator View. Again, finance and economics background, that's my hobby, that's where my interests lie. Stock market has crashed, stock prices are really, really cheap, a lot of depressed assets out there. Now is the time to build your portfolio for the next 5 to 10 years to really, really benefit from that. Again, if you're in the position. I was around for the 2008, 2009 financial crisis. However, I was not in a position to take advantage of it. And I just watched from the sidelines and was man, I wish I had money to throw at that. So when it does look like we're headed for a recession, the next 12 to 18 months could be pretty rough. So I asked myself, and the reason I wanted to talk about this, because maybe you can ask yourself the same thing, is what can I do during the next 12 to 18 months to maximize my income in order to buy some of these cheap assets to, again, benefit your long-term investments. So that's why when I looked at it and I'm like, man, I'm spending all my time on CreatorView. CreatorView doesn't make any money. I need to be spending my time and efforts on something that can earn an income so I can, build my portfolio for the long term during this time when asset prices are really, really cheap. So that's like a big reason for the shift from CreatorView to the course business. But like I said, I encourage all of you to think of the same. I don't know if there's like a side job you can pick up or extra work at your current job. Maybe you're trying to become a developer and increase your income. But yeah, this is, again, like I said, I was around during 2008, 2009, couldn't take advantage of it and just watch from the sidelines. So I'm using those learnings to not let that happen again. So anyway, a little side tangent, has nothing to do with CreatorView, obviously, but maybe that'll help some of you out. Let's finish up this video talking about the price cut to $9.99 a month or $10 a month from $20 a month, right? The original plan was $20 a month. And it wasn't worth that at the time. I've talked about this in previous videos, but the plan was to grow into that pricing, right? I've showed this chart here. However, now that CreatorView is a side project, I'm not gonna grow into that pricing very fast. So I decided to cut the price down to $10 a month because I do feel, like I said, this core feature set, being on the Mac, the iPad, the iPhone, and just the core feature set we have, I do feel like that is worth $10 a month for a YouTube business owner. So cut the price to $9.99 and got 2 sales. I say 2 even though there's 3 bars because one of those bars is me. But and this was not like me going on a sales call or reaching out to people or putting in a marketing effort. Like I've done nothing for marketing or sales or anything like that. So this is just random people downloading, liking what they see, and saying, yeah, sure, I'll pay $9.99 a month or whatever. So I think that's encouraging. Now, small sample size, could just be dumb luck. But this did happen within like a week of cutting the price to $10. So who knows, we'll see. And like I said, these future update videos, I'll be talking about, sales numbers, download numbers, any new features, anything interesting that happens. Like I'm still gonna be doing these update videos probably once a month. It's not like CreatorView's dying. Again, it's just not the main focus. And of course, we can always reassess in 1 to 2 years. Let's say I spend the next 2 years busting my ass on the course business. I got 20 to 25 courses out there. The business is kind of on autopilot. Like I can take my foot off the gas and maybe I can reshift my focus, 1 to 2 years from now back to CreatorView once that has a little traction. And I kind of foresee my career bouncing back and forth between YouTube, course business, and CreatorView. And I think both of them can end up earning a pretty good income. So that's kind of how I see my career going forward over the next, 3 to 5 years, and then we'll reassess again. So to put a nice bow on this, I stopped working on CreatorView because it doesn't make any money during this market downturn. So I shifted to the course business because that does earn an income and I can purchase cheap assets during this market downturn to build a portfolio of long-term investments, that will benefit in 5 to 10 years from now. And like I said, CreatorView is not dead, it's just not the full-time project, and I'll still be doing these update videos. In the next video, we'll probably dive into some download numbers and more on the sales charts and really dive into that to show you how the first, 3 or 4 months of CreatorView's life went.